Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Kyle with Dirt Bike Channel. We're going to cross logs straight on and we're going to cross logs at an angle. That's what's coming up on Dirt Bike Channel. When you're crossing logs, there's definitely more than one way to do this. But one of the big challenges that I end up facing when I'm out on the trail is coming up on a log when I can't actually square up to the log. Getting over a log, if you can come perpendicular to it, isn't that big of a deal as long as the log isn't that big. But coming up to a log where it's coming on an angle to your direction of travel, that can pose some significant challenges because it's sometimes hard to get your bike over that cleanly. So one of the techniques that we're trying right here is kind of like a pivot turn, where we're going to roll up to the log and put one foot on the log. Put your, the side that you're rolling up to the log, you'll put that foot on the log. You'll keep your other foot on the peg. And basically what you're going to do is use the power of the bike, use the clutch and use the motor to be able to get up over that log. So you're going to essentially pop a real quick wheelie and pull the front of the bars up. And your goal is to pull that bike up and bring that front wheel up and down on the other side of the log, pointing almost 180 degrees from where you started. So it's a pretty cool technique. It takes some practice. You need to find a good log, and you probably want to find a log like we did in this video that's about half the height of our tire. And it can be a little bit intimidating, especially when you're starting out, because it's a fairly big log. It may not look super massive in this video, but trust me, it's a little bit intimidating when you first start out, even with a log that's half the height of your tire. So that's what you'll want to do, is you want to come up to it and you want to make sure that you don't take too steep of an angle. You want to maybe be about 15 to 30 degrees off axis with that log. And then you're going to be jerking that bike up and trying to set the tire down, away from, so that you're pointing now almost 180 degrees from where you started. You're going to be going, it's best if you can do at least 120 degrees on that turn, because if you only go 90 degrees from where you are, you're going to have a hard time getting that rear tire to slide up over the log like you see in these clips. So that's just something to keep in mind, is the more that you can get that bike to come straight up in the air and pull the front end around, whether you're going one way or the other, you want to get that tire really high and pull that front end around so that it will land going the other direction on the other side of the log. And when you do it, it's a thing of beauty. As far as crossing a log going straight, if the log is not very tall, then you can get away with basically just wheeling right over the log and not having your front wheel touch at all, assuming you're going to go perpendicular to that log, straight onto it. If the log is very tall though, and when I'm talking taller than the log that we're doing here, it's probably a good idea for you to actually kiss the front wheel on the log somewhere around halfway up to 2/3 of the way up. The reason why you want to do that is it will compress your suspension. And it'll compress that rear shock in particular, and then it makes the bike shorter, and it will spring you then basically straight up in the air. Then that rear tire, and sometimes even beyond straight up in the air, then that rear tire will come and clip the log, and it'll just kind of set you level, and hopefully you'll be able to land level on the other side. But you need to get that front wheel very, very high. What happens sometimes if you don't clip that front wheel on the log, if it's really high, like I have in one of these clips here. I have a clip here of me crossing a log where the log was probably, it's hard to tell in the GoPro footage, but the log was probably 12 inches in diameter, but it was about 18 inches off the ground. So it was quite high. It was somewhere between 28 and 30 inches up. And I came in and didn't kiss the front wheel on the log. I came in and got a little bit too much of a wheelie and didn't hit the front wheel at all on that log. And my back tire came and slammed into that, and and I just got completely thrown right over the front of the bars, and I needed to hit my front wheel on that log. And I didn't, and it basically sent me flying. So that's something that you'll want to do, is you'll want to try to kiss the front wheel on the log and compress the suspension if it's a fairly big log, to get you to be kicked more straight up in the air. And then when that back tire comes, it'll level you out. You know, back tire comes and hits the log, it'll level you out and put you on the other side. The thing about log crossings, guys, and I can't stress this enough, and I'm not the best at it. I'm learning and I'm getting better and better. But the thing about log crossings is it's all about practice. The more you practice, the more that when you come across logs in your riding, you're going to be more and more comfortable. And it's going to be so rewarding for you when you start to get this stuff down better and better. So my advice, guys, is just to find a log. If you're camping somewhere and you can find a log, bring it right into the camp like we did here in this video, where we just practice there right there in the camp. And I cannot stress how much that helped us to kind of get over the fear and just get the mechanics of using that clutch control and getting over the log, whether we were coming straight onto it or whether we were coming onto it at an angle, and practice it at different angles, practice it on both sides until you get more and more comfortable. And it's pretty rewarding, and you'll see some good benefits in your riding. So that's the tip today. Hope you enjoyed it, and stick around for more cool videos. Thanks.